Hey guys, come on in and make a comment to let people know you're here, or let me know that you're here. We're going to have a fun class today. This is the card that we are going to be doing for one of the cards. I love it. So let me know that you're here. Thank you for coming. For today's cards, we're going to be using Ride the Range and Mountain Air. Hey, Dottie. I love that you got to come. And Mountain Air and Ride the Range because I wanted it to be a scenery. So am I going the right way? I'm not upset. I mean, I'm not upside down or anything, am I? Or backwards? Just want to be sure. Yay. Thank you, Dottie. So hopefully you can leave a message if you're in, so that you can be in the running for winning one of the cards. And if you place an order of 35 or more, you get to get all the cardstock and everything to make this card and the next one. And you get a pillow gift, which I am going to show you after I make the cards for you. So make sure that you put in that. And if you can use the hostess code that is on the front of on my, God, goodness gracious, Facebook, where you can see it. Hey, Steph, you'll see what host code to use. That helps me out a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start with a piece of basic gray that is 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to score that at 5 1/2. Now, my girlfriend from Canada swears that this is how you should have all your cards that face this way because they stand up so much nicer. So I kind of like it going this way. So you're going to go ahead and fold it. Make sure that your edges are good before you crease it too well. And then I always just bring in my foam folder to make sure. So now it's perfect. All right. You will need a piece or 2 pieces of Whisper White, or that's not Whisper White anymore, Basic White. And they are 5 by 3 3/4. You'll need 2 because I like to do my insides exactly like my front. And 2 pieces of my Basic Black, which is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Hey, Gail. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start our scenery, and we're going to stamp the cowboy, which I'm wondering if we made the hair a little bit longer, we could make it a girl, but I'm not going to do that today. But, you know, I rode horses a lot, and my anniversary for when I had my horse and everything is coming up next week. And that's when I broke my neck on my horse and had to sell him, which I was a little bit sad of because it took me forever to finally get a horse, and I only had him for 3 months. Okay, so now we are going to cover him up with, I went ahead and stamped them on like a Post-it or my tape that I use, and we're going to go ahead and cover them up. It's been 35 years since I broke my neck. Still hurts, but we do what we have to. All right, so we're going to cover up all of our stamping. This is going to be a way to make it look like they are in front of the mountains, and if I stamped it without covering them, you would see the mountains on top of them. And you don't want that. You want it behind them, or at least to look like it's behind them. But we always do the first part, or the forefront first. Okay, so we're using the mountain air, and I'm going to be using Smoky Slate. And I want it somewhat low enough to where we can put some sky behind them. And just make sure I press down real well. Nice. Okay. I'm going to put these aside so I don't sit my card on top of it, because that would be bad, but that's the last I'm using of that. All right, then I'm going to come in with a color I don't use very often, but it's soft seafoam. I tried it in Old Olive. It didn't come out very well. It just looked too harsh. So soft seafoam is a little bit lighter, and we can just make the grass look more grassy and not so bright. So I'm just pouncing it for now. You have to be careful around your masks so you don't mess them up. Thank you, Gail. I really like this card because it reminds me of horseback riding. Someday maybe I'll do it again. All right, and now I'm going to just go over it to make it look a little bit more smooth without messing up the masks. And I know I'm shaking everything. And if you can, get under them with it be a little bit darker right under their feet to make it look like a shadow. Okay. Put that aside. All right, then you're going to come in with some Pear Pizzazz and the die that goes with it, that goes with this set. And I think I put it away so you could see. So this is all the dies that come with it. I love this set. I love it more than I even thought I would. But I've used this one last week or the week before, and that is so pretty. And the fence, gotta love the fence. But this is what you're going to do with the hills. So you're going to place it on, and you will have to line it up after you cut it to get it to go all the way across, which I have already done. And I've sponged it, which I think I placed it into something dirty. But this is where I'm going to put it. So I did 2 of them so that they would be look more like hills. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And then we're going to take off the masks. Because right now they don't look all that great because everything is stamped on top of them. And then I stick it right back into the lid of my case so that's there for the next time. But now we can color it, and we don't have the green on it, and we don't have the mountains on it. Okay, so we are going to use blends, and I'm going to use soft suede for the horse, dark and light. So, and normally I don't color the whole thing for you, but I'm going to today. Hopefully it won't take too long because it's pretty straightforward, and hopefully I won't make a mistake. So wherever the lines are, you want to do that in the dark. And I'm going to do his main dark. You guys have no idea how much I loved riding horses. As a kid, I begged and begged for a horse. Never got it until I was an adult. Now, of course, you'd probably take your time on this a little bit better than I am. Okay, there's the horse. Then we're going to color his pants, because they're jeans, blue. And I'm going to get the dark on the sides where we see all that, and then come in with the light. Oh, and I forgot one thing with the blends is that he has to have his boots done. And since they're probably leather riding boots, you need to have that. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the dark blue for the blanket. And then I'm coming in with the crumb cake for the, either that's the saddle or the other blanket, probably the saddle, and the reins. And then his hat needs to be soft suede too, because that's probably leather also. I like to live in my pictures. Make sure I do it right. All right, then I'm going to do the crumb cake light for his shirt. And then because I think he's been out in the sun a lot, he's got a little bit of a tan. So I'm using the light cinnamon cider, and he really is dark. He's been out in the sun a lot. Let me show you one thing that I have. These are the Stampin' Blends for skin tones. So when I look for what I want for my skin tones, I like to see which ones I want to do. And I thought that one looked like he was really nice and tanned. All right, so now for the cows, I am just going to do them all the same. I'm going to do the dark crumb cake on all of the marks that the artist gave us. And then I'll do light for everything else. And I'll do dark for his horn. Other than coloring, this is a really easy card. Okay, then the light, and we're done. And then we just have to sponge for the sky. So how's everybody been this week? I love that cheat sheet for the skin tones too, Gail. Okay, then there was one thing I was thinking. Oh yes, his udder needs, where did I put it? Light petal pink, because it has to be the right color. And then on the hooves, I'm just going to do a light black on the horse's hooves. Okay. Then we are going to sponge with Balmy Blue on the top. And I'm just doing the edges and bringing it down just a little bit to make it have the feel that the whole sky is blue. Okay. Now we just have to put the sentiment on, which I am bringing in the Stamparatus, and hopefully I have it in the right spot because I'm just eyeballing where it goes. Oh, perfect. And that's going to be with Memento because I want to make sure it's really dark. So if I don't get it dark the first time, I can do it again and not have to worry. I think it needs to be a little bit darker. Much better. Okay, I'll clean that later. Okay, then we just have the fence, which I've used before, and that is out of this set also, which I've already shown you. But you just lay it on to some soft suede, which is probably my favorite brown color, and cut it out of that, and then we have it. Okay, so basically you can pounce it with glue or just try to put glue on the big fence post and hopefully it won't bleed out. I know I've already told you thank you for being here, but I really appreciate it. Nothing worse than doing a YouTube live and having nobody there. All right, so let's see. Doesn't have to be right on the edge. And then we have to put in another one. So I'm going to trim just this part of the fence so I can add it. And this way, it goes all the way across. Okay. And if you accidentally go off the paper, you just trim it off. Okay, so now we are going to put this on to the black. I know, Gail. Every time I say eyeballing, I think of you. It does bring a smile to my face, so that's a good thing. So we're backing it in black so that it really pops. I think I love putting things on black the most. All right, so isn't that pretty already? Then we're going to put it onto a basic gray to match the mountains. Though the mountains were in smoky slate, but basic gray is a darker shade of that. So okay. See, that wasn't too hard. And then for the inside, let me see what I did. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to put that aside and bring in my other white. Remove these because I don't need them in the way anymore. All right. I'm going to stamp Ride the Range. Life is a Journey, or Enjoy the Ride on there. And hopefully I get it good the first time because I'm not using the Stamparatus. Perfect. Okay, so now this is the fun part for me is, where did I see that? Oh, it's right here. Okay. I forgot to close some things. All right, so we are going to do the barbed wire in silver because that's what color barbed wire is, right? so I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Now, if you don't have one, we don't sell them anymore, but you can use cornstarch or whatever you have, to a dryer sheet, whatever, to get it to get rid of all the static, because you do not want static when you're using color. All right, so I'm just going to try to make this go straight across. And in order to see it, because it's Versamark, it's really hard to see, I'm going to dip it each time into the embossing powder so that I can line it up. Takes a little bit more time doing it this way, but you don't want it to not line up. Okay, so now I just have to heat it up and we can watch the magic. Hi, Lola. This is my favorite part, embossing. Whoops, I messed up a little bit. I guess somebody came and cut the fence. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to back that onto the black. I want to make sure it's dry because it will smudge. I miss having my in-person classes, so this is like the next best thing if I can see you guys here. Okay, and then that'll go on the inside. And we're done with the first card. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay, so the next one is a little less wow, but I still think it's beautiful because I love how this came out. So what you need for this is a piece of Cajun Craze. It's 4 1/4 by 11. Again, because I like the way that that closes. And if you see, I almost did that. I already cut my finger once doing that. Who cuts their finger on the top from a cutter? I do. Oops. Okay, and pretty good this time. I don't need to do anything else. Then you're going to need 2 pieces. One's vanilla and one's crumb cake, and those will both be 5 by 3 3/4. And then early espresso, which is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. The same dimensions as the last card, but it's totally different. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my early espresso. My crumb cake. And I'm going to use crumb cake, and we're going to use the barbed wire again, and hopefully I can get it to go straight across. And you're just going to make this as a background stamp. Wow. So I tried to cut my stamps right up to the edge so it's easy to line up. So when I come in here, they go right to the edge of the stamp. Just makes it much easier to line up. Let me move this just a little. So it went off just a little bit right up here, but that's okay. All right, because I like having things sponged, I'm pretty sure this is the brown. It is. Didn't need to close that yet. I wanted it to look more old, so I'm going to go ahead and sponge, which you that come to my classes know I do love to sponge. I just think it adds. So who all here has been able to get the COVID shot? Because I am wanting to go and get me a false ID so that I can be older than I am, just so that I can get it. But I was told I can't. I know Marilyn's gotten it, and I'm hoping she's here, even though she's not able to comment. All right. So then I went out, or I went and got, here we go, a piece of vanilla, just a scrap. And we're going to do happy birthday in early espresso. This is just to do the thing on here. Good. Good, Lola. I'm glad. I wish that I could go. All right. So this is a new die. It doesn't cut out. It just leaves the stitched way of doing it. And I love how it looks like kind of like a lasso going around. So that's what I did. I went ahead and ran that through, and then this is how it came out. So can you see how cool that is? All right, so what I'm going to do, because we don't have a die that cuts us out, I'm just going to follow the curves of this. And I mean, you can't get it wrong because it's supposed to look masculine or rough. So just follow it along. Ziggy zaggy. There we go. All right, and then because we have this crumb cake again, I'm just going to go ahead and get that so it looks old. We don't want it to look like really crisp with the rest of it because that wouldn't quite go. And I didn't even have to get that inky again. So you see how that makes it look older? All right, and then we're going to put some dimensionals on that. But first, I'm going to come in so it can dry a little bit. This braided trim, and I'm going to color it with the dark blends of the soft suede, because when you put it on here without coloring it, it's harder to see. So I wanted it to pop a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and color this. And just have to get enough to where it'll go on both sides. All right. So I'm going to set that aside just for a second. Let me cut it. And we'll put dimensionals on the back. Okay, so I'm just taking this off for now. I'm not putting it on yet because I want to put it over my ribbon that I just colored. And I'm going to raise this up just a little bit from what I had it on my sample, because Pat and I were talking and we think it might look better going up a little bit higher so that we can put our lasso in there and it will look more centered. I love having an assistant. Thank you, Pat. And I don't know that I put it up higher than half. Hold on. There we go. So I put tape on the back side just to grab it when I get it to the spot that I like. And then I'm going to make sure it stays, put adhesive going across these two and then on around. And then that's going to go on a piece of early espresso. Now, if you missed any of the dimensions, it's all listed on my blog at TedderBearStamping.com. And I have the pictures and all the dimensions. And remember, if you decide to purchase from me, you only need to do $35 or more to get all the fixings for these cards. And then you can make it on your own or make something else. And you also get the PDF that I have of 16 projects. Whoops. So look on the flyer that I put out onto Facebook to see where the what the host code is. And then by Wednesday or Thursday next week, you will be mailed out your class project with all of the cardstock and everything. And usually I do all the dies for you. All right, so we're going to use linen thread. And I'm just going to wrap it around 2 fingers so that it is like 3 times all the way around, but I want it to be at the top. And then we are going to get a glue dot. And make it a little bit smaller. Not too small because I want it to fit onto here and hold it together. Okay, and then it's going to go right, right there. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let's look at the other one and see, do you like it a little bit further up so that this hangs down more? Can you even tell? Maybe it's just me. Okay, so now for the inside, we are going to do Life is a Journey again. And I think I stamped on my vanilla that I was supposed to use. Hold on, let me grab another one. I might have to cut it because like a silly person, I had this here to do my sentiment. So hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to do Life is a Journey again because I really do like that sentiment with the early espresso. Now make sure you comment if you're on there if you can, so that you can maybe get the one of these cards. You can pick it and then I'll mail it to you. Okay, and then we are going to use crushed curry with the hay bales, which I think is super cute. And the dies will cut out the hay bales. So if you want to do them on a separate piece of paper and pop them up, you can. But I'm trying to make this somewhat simple. But isn't that cute? It makes me smile and chuckle. Those are the kind of stamp sets I like. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this onto that. And then inside. What do you guys think? More simple than what I usually do, but it's still really pretty. And if you are an outdoors person or you know somebody that has horses or likes being outdoors, this is a great card. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, and subscribe to my blog too. If you want to get a newsletter, click on that too. All right, so we have these. Now let me show you the pillow gift or the thank you gift Thank you, Lola, that you will be getting if you place an order. It is so cute, you guys. All right, so it's a little box. Isn't this cute? With chocolates inside, though I must have knocked it over because they're upside down, but you see that, aren't those cute? I love it. So, hey, Susan, I didn't even see you come in. Thank you for coming. All right, so that is my thank you gift to you. When you place your order, I probably will have everything taped and ready, like the top of this will be on, but this box will be flat. And you just have to, everything will be cut. You just fold in the edges and you can make the box. But I don't want it to come to you and be squashed. So that is why you are going to just get it flat, but everything will be on it. And it's just so cute. Okay, so Pat, are you ready to do the drawing for who gets to win one of these cards? And then they get to pick which one they would like. Steph, you won. Yay. Do you know which one that you would like to have? Just let me know and then send me your mailing address so that I can mail it out to you. So now Pat picks the names through a random name drawer. So she puts everybody's names in and then it just does its thing and pops up a name. So that way it's fair for everyone. But this is really cute. I hope you guys liked this. And next week, if you guys want to send me some ideas of what cards you want me to work on, I can do that. Otherwise, I'll just find something that I love and I will work on that. Thank you, Dottie. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And I hope you come back next week. And I hope you don't mind that I tag you and tell you that I'm doing this so that you'll come. I hope I'm not irritating anybody. So I just like to see you. All right. Well, I will see you next time. And I hope you're here next Thursday at 4. Thanks.